Side Broadcasting. Welcome back to Day 3 of CPAC 2021 America Uncanceled. I'm Grace Saldana, and I'm joined by Alex Stovall, congressional candidate for District 9 of Arizona. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm too blessed to be stressed.
I love that answer, and it's Sunday, so you definitely are blessed today.
This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, right?
Yes, absolutely. Why are you running? What's your story?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I'm a military veteran, also a reverend. Currently serving as a chaplain candidate in the military. And I think of connection between the representatives and the common people, if you will, the inner city communities. Absolutely. I wanted to be the bridge. I want to be the bridge. I'm going to be the bridge between the minority community and the representatives that claim to represent us. I think there's a lack of communication, and being a chaplain and hearing the hurts, the concerns, the issues, and the things that aren't being addressed and aren't being rectified or corrected in the inner city communities, I really want to help to be that change, be the change that we want to see, right? So that's kind of why I stepped into the race, and I'm extremely passionate about it because I grew up in my city. I grew up on those streets. I grew up knowing the demographics there. I know the importance of school choice and finishing the wall and financial literacy. So that's kind of a little bit about why I'm running.
Well, I love that perspective that you have, not only as a veteran, but also as a Christian. And it's extra special coming from someone who's so young, and you have a fresh look, so it's going to appeal to a lot of people. So I think that's a great decision for you. So tell us what you will do for the people of Arizona if elected.
Yes, so there's one of a million things that I want to do. First and foremost is to bring the Constitution and the Pledge of Allegiance back into school. I'm very, very, very passionate about school choice. That's one of the bills that I'm going to be working diligently to push. Whether or not it happens, we'll see. I know with the American people's support, we can get it done. Yes. Secondly, we need to create a merit bill and finish the wall. In Arizona, we're open to accept people, but we're not giving handouts, we're giving hand-ups. And I think that's something we have to make clear and concise to those that are coming in and trying to immigrate to Arizona and any other state in Arizona. Thirdly, financial literacy. In our inner city communities currently, we actually teach the younger generations and older generations as well, anybody who's willing to learn about financial literacy, understanding the stock market, how to read a chart, how to balance a checkbook, understanding the value of a dollar, creating passive income. These are things that I was taught. These are things that I feel are paramount for our younger generation to understand. So that's kind of what the Alex for Congress team is kind of doing with the inner city community as we speak.
And that all goes back to what you just said in the very beginning, giving people a helping hand, not giving them a handout. And that's so important because all the time the Democrats want to find solutions to give people things and not really help them really learn anything. Financial literacy is so important. So you're from an inner city?
Yeah, I moved 57 times in the state of Arizona, so I know places by zip code. I grew up homeless. I spent a lot of time there. In the city, I spend a lot of time in homeless shelters. I know what it's like to be in low-income housing. I know what it's like to be in Section 8 housing. I think it hits a little bit different when you know the person that's going to represent you and give you what you want has been where you're at, because those bills are going to impact you and your family and the next generations to come. So it's personal for me, and that's kind of why I'm so passionate about it. But I also think to go back to what you said, the Democratic Party, I was a walk away. I didn't become a Republican until Trump got elected, believe it or not, back in 2016.
Incredible.
And people asked me, why did you walk away? And I said, well, I started to understand and comprehend that success stories don't make money for the elitist. When we have more candidates like me that grow up from the projects, grow up from the hoods, grow up from Chirac, grow up from Detroit, that get up, get involved, get active, and say, hey, I can be a part of this. I just need to get active, get involved with my community, and start making things happen. I think it's going to send shockwaves in the inner city community when I do get elected, and I'm hoping, and I truly believe in my heart, that more people my age will get involved, and I'm excited to see it.
I love your passion that you're getting in on this, because it's so important to talk to the inner cities, because so many conservatives think it's a lost cause. They think we shouldn't even bother going to those districts because we're not going to win it anyway. But that's not the point. We're in this for the long game. This is about the future.
Well, how do you eat an elephant? A little bit at a time. And as a true believer, I think of the story of David and Goliath. You have these districts that people don't think that we can win. But then I ask myself, isn't God the God of all things? You say you're a Christian, you say you're a patriot, you're a conservative. You serve the living God that we can do all things through him who strengthens us, right?
Absolutely.
There's no such thing as a non-winnable district. It may take a little bit of time, but by the graces of God, I'm young. We have the time. We can get it done. So I think it's just making sure that we allow the Republican, the elitists, to know that people like myself are willing to do the work, put the nose to the grindstone, start chipping away at those deep-rooted Democratic holdings or plantations, if you will.
So on that note, another issue severely affecting inner cities and really even rural communities across the country is election fraud. So you're in Arizona, you're right near the hotbed, the whole mess in Maricopa County. So will you fight for election integrity if you're elected?
Absolutely. And I try and tell people the audit is paramount, but it's not mission critical. What's mission critical is that we take the House back. If we get this audit done, but the Democratic Party still owns the House, it was in vain. We've got to take the House back. Once the audit is done and truth will come to light, we can make those corrections and make sure it never happens again. But in order to make sure and solidify and guarantee that that doesn't happen, we have got to secure the House. So I am 140% focused on winning this race.
So how do we secure the House if our votes may not matter, if there is all this election fraud? Do you think that we should push people to really just show out in droves and come out and overwhelmingly beat the fraud?
I wouldn't say so much of that, but I would say education is key, right? If you have the whole community that's cognizant and aware of what's going on in the community, we have more Americans that are involved in taking ownership and being accountable of who's being appointed in office, it's a lot less likely to happen. So I think with this voter fraud that took place, more Americans are more vigilant, they're more cognizant, they're more aware, and they're hyper-vigilant of what's going on with the elections. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll be extremely difficult for them to get away with something like this moving forward in the future.
I agree with you on that. And last question, the border. The border is one of the biggest stories right now. It's severely affecting Texas and Arizona and California, which people aren't really talking about so much. So where do you stand on the border crisis?
I think we need to finish the wall, and we need to get rid of all the bureaucracy that's taking place there. There's a reason why the Democrats don't want to go there. They don't want to see the mess that they made. Mm-hmm. We need to create merit bills, and we need to implement bills and policies and create a door and a process for people that's not strenuous, that's not going to be chaotic, that's not going to be just a mess. Mm-hmm. So we need to create a system. The system is broken, so we need to correct and rectify it. The Democrats know it's broken. That's why they won't visit there. That's why President Trump is visiting there. That's why Congressman Gosar is visiting there. It's important that we make these corrections and we make it known. The sex trafficking is absolutely tumultuous that's taking place there. I mean, I have 3 sisters. I can't imagine my little sister being drugged up in traffic to God knows where. So I'm very passionate about that too, and I look forward to finishing that bill.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that you stand on that, because human trafficking and the drug trafficking and everything, nobody wants to talk about it. The Democrats ignore it. They act like it's not happening, and they call us racist for opposing it, and it couldn't be further from the truth. So how can people support your campaign? Well,
you can go to alexforarizona.com. FOR Arizona.com is spelled out, and if you guys want to follow us and follow the things that we're doing in our inner city community, it's at Alex for Arizona on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Alex for Arizona, there you have it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, and God bless America.
God bless.